Hey everyone, so today we have a Nightmare Doll deck profile, and it's a really fun deck. Again, it's one of the most budget decks out there that you can build, because right now a lot of the cards are pretty cheap, and there's no hype for it whatsoever, so I definitely recommend you get this deck, because it's just so fun to play. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for our starter, we are playing Nightmare Doll Natalie. So, Natalie is the new card from the Rummy Labyrinth set, and I think it's a really amazing card because compared to the other card, Pamela, which is the other one that came from set 5, I think this one's a lot better to play, and yeah, it just helps you get more Nightmare Doll cards. Alright, so moving on to grade 3s, we are obviously playing for Nightmare Doll Catherine. She's just so amazing, and her skill is all of your Nightmare Doll Alice just gets plus 1000, and Alice is a 10,000 grade 3, so giving it the 1000 makes it easy to hit a Vanguard. Alice gets the additional skill of, at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, you can counterblast 1 if the attack did not hit, of course. You can choose one Nightmare Doll Alice from your soul and then call it to the rear circle and then put this unit into your soul. So if one Alice doesn't hit, counterblast 1 and then just take out another Alice from the soul. So it's a really nice card, and when this unit is placed on the rear circle, on the Vanguard circle, search your deck for up to 1 card and put it into your soul. So if you want to put more Alice into your soul, then just ride with Catherine and put Alice into your soul. And this whole deck is focused around Alice, obviously. So speaking of Alice, we are playing 3 Alice. I wish I could play 4 because it's just so difficult to find this card right now, but I am playing 3 of her, and I think it's a really amazing card. If you guys don't know what the skill is, it's if the attack hits, you can counterblast 1, and then choose another Pale Moon not named Alice from your soul, and then call it to the rear circle. So there's actually an infinite combo with this. I'll be showing you in the combo video later on, but for now, let's just stick to this. Alright, so for grade 2s, we're playing 3 Nightmare Doll Master Brenda. She's one of the only Nightmare Doll cards that is not a workroid. As you can see right here, she's an elf, which is really weird because her skill is choose up to 1 workroid from your soul and call it to the rear circle, and then until end of the turn, that unit gets the skill of, when this unit is put into your soul from rear circle, choose a card named Nightmare Doll Master Brenda from your soul and call it to the rear circle. And it's just really interesting. Of course, you have to put her into the soul first. That is an activated ability, though. Her second skill is when this unit is placed on the rear circle from your soul, choose all of this unit's activated abilities, and they're lost until the end of the turn. So, kind of a drawback there. And I think 3 is actually pretty fair to play in this deck. So next we are playing 4 Nightmare Doll Genie. She's actually one of the most key cards in this deck, and it's really amazing when you ride her and also play her on the rear circle. And actually, I won't be explaining the skill right now. Perhaps you guys can actually see right now through the screen. But I will be showing you in the combo video where she's actually one of the most important cards for that combo. So playing 4 of her definitely. And then we can move on and play 4 of Nightmare Doll Gerda. So when this unit is placed on a rear circle, you can reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. If they are all Nightmare Doll, then you can choose a card from among them and put it into your soul and then shuffle your deck. Which is kind of bad because not every single card in our deck is actually Nightmare Dolls. But that is why I'm doing my best to actually maximize on Nightmare Doll cards, so that I can get her effect off. 4 of her might be a little too much. You can drop 1 of her and actually add in your additional 4th Alice or 4th Brenda. Alright, so moving on to grade 1s, we're playing 4 perfect guards. It doesn't matter what you play as long as it somehow works. So for Hoopmaster, it actually can work in any generic Pale Moon deck. And you can also play Darkside Mirror Master as well, which is the unflipping perfect guard. It helps you countercharge, which is really nice, especially for Nightmare Dolls. But the thing is, honestly, if you can't afford those, you can get Hoopmaster instead. But any perfect guards work. Unfortunately, we don't have any of the Nightmare Doll perfect guards, which they don't exist, so we're just going to have to stick with that for now. The other one we're going to play is Masquerade Bunny, which is the Stride Fodder, and I think the Stride Fodder is actually really important for the deck, because we don't want to be using Nightmare Doll Alice as Stride Fodder. We mainly want to get her into the soul, so because of that, we are only limited to using Stride with the remaining Nightmare Doll Catherine. One of them we're going to obviously ride on top of, and the other three will be used for Stride, but other than that, we do need the Masquerade Bunny, and I think 3 works. I might drop it down to 2, but for now, 3 is like really amazing. Alright, so next we have Nightmare Doll Leslie. Now, Leslie is actually one of the most amazing cards ever. This card is from set 5, and basically its skill is every time a Nightmare Doll Alice is called out from your soul, you can restand this unit, which is really amazing because, again, I did mention that there was an infinite combo that could keep going, well, as long as you have Counterblast, but basically it can keep going for as long as you want, and Nightmare Doll Leslie is one of the combo pieces, so I'll be demonstrating how to use her in the combo video, but for now, she's a great card at 4. And for the final grade 1s we are playing, we are going with Nightmare Doll Lisa. It's not too great of a skill, because her skill activates when she's actually placed on a rear guard from the soul. Basically, when it comes out from the soul due to the effect or skill of another Workroid unit, this unit gets plus 3000, and at the end of the turn you can countercharge. She's really nice to play, but overall her skill is not as easy to pull off. It's easier to pull off when you get into Nightmare Doll Beatrix or something like that in the future, so I'll get to it later. But for now, we're playing 4 of her. I know there's other Nightmare Doll grade 1s that I didn't have in this deck, but honestly, I don't really think it's worth playing. I mean, you could probably drop 1 Masquerade Bunny and maybe 1 Leslie and 1 Lisa to add in other Nightmare Doll cards. There's the one that helps you soul charge when you boost, but it's not really relevant for the deck, and the deck like now works pretty fine. Alright, so finishing things on the main deck with grade 0s, we have the Nightmare Doll Dory, which is the heal triggers. Obviously, we're playing 4 of these. We are also playing Nightmare Doll Mirabelle, which is the critical trigger from set 5. We are also playing the new critical trigger from the Rummy Labyrinth set, Nightmare Doll Wendy, which is also a crit. And the last card we're playing, which is pretty much the only card we have left to play, is Nightmare Doll Sydney, which is the draw triggers. Basically, we want the whole deck to be Nightmare Doll. The only non-Nightmare Doll cards is Masquerade Bunny and Hoopmaster, and it's quite unfortunate, but hopefully in the future we can get some sort of Stride Fodder specifically for Nightmare Dolls, because Oracle Think Tank got a Stride Fodder for Battle Sisters, so it could be interesting to see something like that. And also, I'm hoping for a Perfect Guard that's actually a Nightmare Doll card as well, because we definitely need to maximize our deck with Nightmare Doll cards. Alright, so moving on to Stride Zone. Honestly, for the Stride Zone, you can play anything you want. Whatever strides you want to play, it's completely up to you. However, for Nightmare Dolls, I do recommend you play 4 copies of Nightmare Doll of the Abyss Beatrix. This card is so amazing because its skill is basically at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard. If you have a heart card with Nightmare Doll in its card name, you can pay the cost, which is basically put 3 of your Workroid rearguards back into the soul, and if you do, you can put this unit face up into the G-Zone, and then choose 2 Workroid units from your soul and call them to separate rearguards. And the thing is that there are a lot of cards that actually benefit from coming out from the soul. So overall, Beatrix actually works really well with this deck, and I do recommend you try and get 4 of her if you can. Otherwise, the rest of the Stride Zone is really up to you. I also do recommend you play at least 2 of Nightmare Doll of the Abyss Eleanor. I currently have 4, but 2 is enough. Basically, when you stride on top, actually, you don't even have to stride on top. You don't have to stride with her to actually activate her skill. It's an activated ability. But once per turn, you can look at the top 10 cards of your deck, and then search for a grade 3 Workroid from among them, reveal it, and then put it in your Vanguard circle as a heart or a soul. If you put it as a heart, then the other heart cards go to the drop zone. But basically, it's a great card to look for Alice to put it into your soul, or if you don't have your heart card as Nightmare Doll Catherine, then you can always do that as well. But basically, it's a simple cost of basically choosing another Workroid from your G zone and turning it face up. So she pretty much turns over herself, or you can turn over Beatrix, but I recommend you save up the Beatrix and just turn over herself, and that way you can pretty much just build up your soul with her skill. She's quite nice, and only 2 of her, and the rest of the stride zone's honestly up to you and what you want to play. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this deck profile. It's a really fun deck to play, and yes, do stay tuned for the combo video I'll be making with this. Yeah, like I said before, the stride zone's completely up to you on what you want to play, and the deck overall is not a competitive deck at all, but it does do a lot of fun combos, and I really do enjoy it, so I just wanted to show you guys this cool deck. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time.